I'm very much on the fence with Jersey Girls. Part of me really liked it. There were certain aspects that I thought were good, and there were certain aspects that I thought were quite slow and dull to progress, and it kind of needed to hurry up a little bit. So I'll discuss my thoughts in more detail, but to sum up first, I guess, I'd recommend it if you're into rom-coms or this kind of film, but if you're not, I can't imagine you'd really get much out of it, but by all means give it a go if it's something you might be interested in. So, the film itself was released in 2004, directed and written by Kevin Smith, and stars Ben Affleck as Ollie Trink. And the film is about his life trying to reassess his priorities. He was he had a very successful career in music promoting in the entertainment industry, and then his wife dies in childbirth, and he has to raise his young daughter Gertie, played by Raquel Castro, as a single parent. And he's changing his life completely, his priorities are getting changed, and it's largely about his relationship with his daughter and what it's like to be a father, and not just a father, but a father who's raising his girl on his own from day one, basically. In that respect, it's really heartwarming, and although it's not a unique concept of a single father raising a child, it's quite nice to see, because a lot of films, if they're going to tackle the whole what's it like to be a single parent thing, often it will be with a woman who's juggling a career, etc., etc. So it's not the most unique, but I do think it's quite a refreshing approach, and I really enjoyed Ben Affleck in this role. I thought the casting for both father and daughter was really good, and you know, Gertie as a character is pretty great. She's quite funny, very entertaining, definitely brought, for me, the crux of the humour to this. Jason Biggs is also in it, which is always going to be a pull factor. That's definitely something I very much enjoyed. The pacing, as I said, is reasonable enough, but there were times when I felt like it was maybe a bit too slow, and it could have been, I think there were just elements that could have been removed. I think there was a bit of fluff in it that didn't really move the narrative forward, that didn't really add much, and that I didn't personally find very funny. It didn't really gel with my kind of humour. But the more serious elements I actually found to be the more moving, and the more, touching and effective and heartwarming. Normally, I wouldn't like to watch a rom-com or a comedy that's quite as emotional as this is, but it still worked. It still ticked the right boxes, and ultimately, apart from maybe the pacing that made me think it wasn't perfect, I can't really fault it. The casting's really good. The execution of the narrative is decent enough. It's nothing, spectacular or ridiculously incredible, but it's decent enough. I'm pleased I've seen it. If you like this kind of film, give it a watch. You might enjoy it. I thought it was alright.